All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolute cutting edge of visual neuroscience. Specifically, we're looking at some truly remarkable research by Dr. Glenn Jeffrey over at University College London. His team has uncovered a really profound but incredibly simple way to literally rescue the aging neurons in our eyes. If you care about keeping your vision sharp as the years tick by, well, you're going to want to hear this. The science we're about to unpack is seriously empowering. Let's start with a bit of a reality check. Have you kind of just accepted that once you hit 40, your vision is on this slow, totally inevitable decline? It's a universally frustrating thing, right? Almost all of us hit that point where we're suddenly reaching for reading glasses, holding a menu all the way out at arm's length, or just struggling to see in dim light. It feels like this one-way street of deterioration. But what if I told you that science is showing us we actually have the power to hit pause on this, and maybe even reverse aspects of this age-related vision loss? Section 1. Aging eyes and vision loss. To figure out how we can actually fix this problem, we first need to look at the absolutely massive metabolic workload our eyes are handling every single day. So the retina, that neural tissue at the very back of your eye, is packed with photoreceptors called rods and cones. Now, your retinal cones give you your sharpest vision and let you see color. But here's the kicker. They are literally the most metabolically demanding, hyperactive cells in your entire body. And because of that intense workload, over time, things start to break down. We get this buildup of something called drusen. These are fatty cholesterol deposits that pile up in aging retinal cells. It's basically the biological villain behind that vision decline we experience after 40. It's not in your head, it's actual cellular waste physically obstructing and degrading your ability to see clearly. Moving right along to Section 2, the power plants of the retina. To really grasp why this drusen forms, we've got to look inside the cells at the mitochondria. You know, the tiny power plants pumping out ATP energy. Think about a youthful retina versus an aging one. Since the retina is so metabolically hungry, these power plants have to run at maximum capacity all the time. In a young retina, the mitochondria are super efficient, cranking out massive amounts of ATP, and the cells stay nice and clean. But in an aging retina, the relentless, non-stop workload of those photoreceptors creates this huge accumulation of biological trash called reactive oxygen species, or ROS. As this microscopic ROS trash piles up, the mitochondria start sputtering. Energy production totally tanks. And that energy crisis right there, that is exactly what leads to those drusen deposits. Section 3, the red light solution, using a 670 nanometer wavelength. Okay, so how do we fix a microscopic energy crisis in the back of the eye? Well, the secret lies in this exact number, 670. We're talking about 670 nanometers. This is a very specific wavelength of deep red light, and it has a physical property that is basically magic for eye health. Since it's such a long wavelength, it can pass safely right through the surface of the eye. No damage, no burning, nothing. It travels straight to the back of the eye, right into that demanding neural tissue, where those exhausted mitochondria are struggling to keep up. Once that 670 nanometer light actually hits the retina, it kicks off this incredible mechanical rescue mission. The mitochondria directly absorb this light, and it literally kicks them back into gear. Seriously, it's like plugging a battery charger directly into your retina. This precise stimulation forces the mitochondria to ramp their ATP energy production way back up. And the best part? With all this renewed energy, the cells finally have the power to clear out all that damaging reactive oxygen species trash that's been dragging them down. Now, what's absolutely fascinating here is the real-world application. Dr. Jeffrey didn't just prove this works in a petri dish. His team ran extensive human studies. In one study, they took participants across a huge age range. We're talking 40 all the way up to 72, and simply had them view this specific red light for just a few minutes. And the outcome? It wasn't just some tiny, unnoticeable shift. The researchers literally described the results as stunning. They proved that, yes, we can actively intervene in the aging process of our own visual neurons. To put a hard number on those stunning results, the study documented a 22% improvement. I mean, let that sink in for a second. A 22% improvement in visual acuity. This wasn't just people subjectively feeling like they could see a bit better. It was a massive, measurable upgrade in their ability to resolve fine, crisp detail and to see colors way more vividly. They effectively dialed back the clock on their visual age just by clearing that metabolic trash out of their cells. Absolutely wild. So, let's get practical. Section 4, the 2-minute morning protocol. How do we actually apply this? The good news is, you definitely don't need a medical degree to optimize your sight, but you do have to play by the biological rules the researchers uncovered. And the absolute biggest rule?
Timing. Timing is completely crucial. For this light to actually protect and restore your mitochondria, the exposure must happen early in the day. Specifically, you need to do this within the first 3 hours of waking up. If you shine this light into your eyes in the middle of the afternoon, or say before bed, the effect is pretty much zero. Your retina operates on a very strict metabolic rhythm, and it's only open to this specific cellular repair process during those morning hours.
Okay, so here's the super simple routine you can build into your morning. Step 1, wake up. Step 2, take a red light source, making sure it emits right around that 670 nanometer mark, and position it about 1 foot away from your face. Step 3, just view that light for 2 to 3 minutes. And here's a really cool detail. Your eyes can actually be open or closed for this, because that long wavelength light passes right through your eyelids like they aren't even there. Oh, and a huge safety note here, please listen to this part. Never ever look at a light that's so bright it causes pain or makes you squint. If it's uncomfortable, just move the device further away until it feels totally fine. Section 5. Red light at night. While that morning routine is all about cellular repair, red light actually has this fascinating secondary benefit at night. Say you're a shift worker, or maybe a new parent getting up constantly in the dark. Let's look at the dual nature of this light. In the morning, a bright dose restores your visual acuity, clearing out ROS, boosting ATP, fixing up those mitochondria. But if you wake up at 2 a.m., using a very dim red light lets you see your surroundings perfectly without waking up your brain. Since red light sits at the far end of the wavelength spectrum, it totally bypasses the specific neurons in your eye that tell your brain it's daytime. That means it doesn't suppress your melatonin, and it doesn't spike your cortisol. You get exactly the vision you need to navigate the room without ruining your sleep quality or your mood for the next day. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. Are you ready to take agency over your aging neurons and try recharging your eyes? Look, vision is arguably our most precious sense, and for the longest time, we really thought its decline was just completely out of our hands. Finding out that we actually have the agency to support these hardworking cells with a simple 2-minute science-backed tool, that's incredibly empowering. I really hope this deep dive has given you a clear understanding of how to protect your sight, and I highly encourage you to look into this protocol for yourself.